think we've got this. I mean, I'm really confident in our ability to.
Hi, everybody. It's Kindle Fire here on the Carnival Jubilee, and you're listening to the Carnival Cruising Podcastaways.
Here are your hosts, Thomas Kennedy, Trevor Shelby, Gary Manning, and Jennifer Roll. We talk cruises every day. Let the golden boys and girls take you away to a place of fun in the sun. Join us as we say, welcome to Carnival Cruising Podcastaways.
I'm on a cruise, guys. I'm on a cruise. Hey, guys, I'm on a cruise.
I'm on a cruise. So not really, though.
I'm so jealous, dude. I want to be on a cruise right now.
Oh man, I do. I really do.
This opening gets more unhinged each week.
It depends on what drugs I do before we get started.
If you're not watching this on Spotify, you are missing out. It is.
Jen, this could very well be our permanent intro.
Very well. I might change the Jennifer part just because I didn't have a funny video with you. So, no, I had the still Garys. And it was the first video I clicked on the Traveling Mannings. Hey, did you guys know that Gary Manning has a active and running YouTube channel called the Traveling Mannings? And the first video I clicked, and he's wearing that sombrero, and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect." So, oh, but yeah, no,
that was in Cozumel, man. That was a fantastic little spot. I love Cozumel. I know a lot of people don't care for it, but
I know exactly where you were, but that's the funny part about Cozumel is I've been there. I probably wore that hat.
Exactly. So, yes.
Oh, too funny. Well, we've got a jam-packed, wonderful show for everyone today. We've really packed it up, and we had a possible guest, and Gary told him this was a jam-packed episode, and we didn't have any room for him, and so it is pretty packed, though. Sorry, bud. But we had a
6-hour pre-production meeting.
Did. It's recorded.
I don't know how we're going to shrink 6 hours down into this 45 to 50, 60 minutes that we try to do.
I don't either, but
especially since Trevor refuses to edit anything.
Okay, so I do some editing. If you watch the show, all the ums go out automatically. That's not actually me doing the editing, but that's gone. And I have here lately, I've picked up on changing some things around and getting some things just kind of perfect for the show. So I've got a bone to pick with one member of this panel. And that's you, Mr. Gary Manning. So I have you. So we do a vote every week. And for some reason, and Tom, you can back me up on this. Remember 1,238 episodes ago, we came up with the rules of Two Truths and a Lie, and we said that the person that does not vote automatically loses. So
did Gary not vote?
Gary didn't. I looked over the votes today, and Gary didn't vote once. And
I forgot to vote.
He's usually the first person to vote.
I know, and I tagged him. I said, this is all that I put in there. So I used two accounts, Carnival Cruising Podcastaways and myself. I said, it's obvious, Gary, because he won't vote. And he knows that he would have to vote for himself. And then I tagged him again and said, Gary, you need to vote. And then under my account, I said, Gary, someone posted for you. Go ahead and vote.
I had one of the most, we didn't talk about our weeks, but I had a very, very tough week this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was working very, very, very hard, very diligently, trying to get cruisingswag.com up and running. It is up and running. It has about 6-7 designs on it. Also, I've added a design over to Carnival Cruising Podcastaways merch site, ccp.cruisingswag.com, and also added Afterpay as a bonus option for you to be able to choose a 4-pay on that so that you can get your shirts and not have to pay for them all at one time.
Wow. Very nice.
That's why I was not able to vote in our poll. I apologize.
Well, okay. For one episode, do we vote that we go ahead and we unban Gary from this week? I say no.
I say yay, we unban him.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm looking at the results right now, and I'm actually very, very, very pleased with these results.
I thought you would be. What are the results?
So, Trevor, you acquired 23% of the vote. Thomas acquired 12% of the vote. I acquired 27% of the vote. And Jen acquired 33% of the vote.
Oh
my God.
Oh,
Innocent Jen.
And then there was an add-in from Trevor that says the anonymous member.
Yes.
And that person received 5% of the vote.
Yeah.
Anonymous member, whoever you were, thank you for making the poll, because I have been fired from that responsibility. I can't do it anymore. So I'm glad that you were able to do it for me.
That's really funny.
listeners, that's just hurtful.
Just hurtful. I don't even remember who lied, honestly.
Well, Trevor, you told the story. I can't remember what your story was.
I don't know.
Don't remember what Tom's was. I do remember that Jen talked about her going to Comic-Con and meeting Weird Al and meeting Frodo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked about being a model.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean,
mine was my mom, convincing me to eat 4 hot dogs and then telling me I need to watch how much I eat.
That's exactly, yes.
That's so true, though. That is so true.
So the person who lied last week obviously was myself. Although that character on the irishgifts.com website or whatever Facebook page looks a lot like myself, it was not me.
Yeah.
So,
well, instead of doing 2 Truths and a Lie this week, I thought we would bring back a old favorite, one that we haven't done since season 1. It is Am I the Snooty Snoot? That's what we're calling it. Am I the Snooty Snoot? Used to have a song, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. And not sure at all. But I do have a Snooty Snoot thing for this. It says, am I the Snooty Snoot? Now, we're going to vote. Is this person who is speaking here the Snooty Snoot? My husband, 55, and I, 52, female, I don't know why that's relevant, celebrate our 30th anniversary later this year. We book a 2-week cruise to celebrate and got a really good deal. My husband told me that his drinking buddies, he told his drinking buddies about it, and this guy decided that he's going to come and book the trip as well. This guy isn't my friend, and his wife is somebody that I actively avoid and have blocked on social media. The thought of being trapped on a ship with 2 weeks with him is unbearable. Would I be the asshole if I say to my husband that if they're going, I'm staying home? Why is Gary's losing it over there?
I didn't know that Teresa got online and wrote about our December cruise.
I had a feeling. I'm not your drinking buddy.
Oh my God.
I mean, really she has to realize that she doesn't have to be around those people all the time.
Yeah, but I think the point is this guy may have booked the cruise to be around them. So
no,
I don't know.
Me off.
That would really annoy me.
I mean, it'd be like
Bilbo Baggins.
You know,
I gotta bleep that out. Oh, it's really funny.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. My gosh, Jen, please take it. Let me regain my composure.
take it.
I will take it. And I will, you two go on your cruise, and Teresa and I will go on a different cruise.
Don't forget Megan too. Megan.
Yeah,
And
Megan
Megan.
too.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
Megan
get
too.
a ladies'
Oh,
cruise going.
there
You
you
know,
go.
this to me, there's some red flags. There's some red flags happening here in this relationship.
Just some
Just
red
some.
flags.
Just some.
I mean, they've been together for 30 years, and this guy decides he wants to crash their 30th anniversary.
But was he encouraged to crash the
He
anniversary?
might have been.
That's, you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Guys don't do that. Speaking of, we have a dudes cruise coming. I'm not kidding. We do actually.
We actually do have a dude's
We
cruise
actually
coming
do.
up.
Oh, but
President's Day weekend, February
President's
13th
Day
through the
weekend,
17th.
we're
25.
celebrating Abraham Lincoln, and we're going on a cruise. So that's what I told my wife. So
We'll be posting more about it later. It is going to be
Yes.
on the Carnival Valor out of New Orleans.
Mhm.
4-day cruise, really quick down to Cozumel and back. Going to be real fun. But we'll
The
talk more about that later.
outline of Lincoln is going to be on the logo. So
We discussed the logo. We have discussed the logo.
I know, but I've just edited it. I've made a decision.
That's going to be the
podcast.
t-shirt he's wearing. That's going to be the
Yes.
t-shirt he's wearing.
It's going to say Carnival Cruising Podcast Aways, have Abraham Lincoln on it.
And just have a
So-
penny on there.
Back to the snooty snoot. I don't think this lady's being too snooty. I think that, okay, so I'm one of those people that, like, my wife has friends that I don't like, and I have friends that she doesn't like. And I think that if we were to go on a 30th year anniversary, I don't think I would be very happy if she invited, like, a husband and wife duo that I don't like. So I don't think she's being too snooty, but I guess it could be seen the other way.
So, all right. Teresa and I are celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary this weekend. That's pretty cool. That's I can relate to these
Happy
people.
anniversary.
Thank you very much. We will, yes. So Wednesday, September 3rd, I guess, is our anniversary. Maybe it's Tuesday, September 3rd. But anyways, I digress.
Tuesday.
We are celebrating our anniversary on a cruise in December 18th through the 22nd. And she absolutely adores Megan. So this is not Teresa. Teresa did not write this, Am I the Snooty Snoot? I will say this lady has a just cause in being upset, especially since she does not like this guy's wife. She's blocked her on social media. Obviously, this lady is annoying. She's probably a lot like some of the people that are on this show. And
Me, yeah.
I'm just kidding. But no, I really can't speak to this because I don't have friends. That if
Oh,
Teresa and I have-
whatever. Oh, God.
No, let me finish. So if Teresa and I have friends, like if I have a friend, his wife is Teresa's friend. And if Teresa kind of has a friend, then her husband is my friend. You know what I mean? So just about all of the people that we would tell that we're going on a cruise, we'd be cool with, even if they did want to crash our 30th anniversary cruise in December.
Oh, wow.
So
I think you just invited our listeners to go.
No,
Hey,
well, I think it
Come
was
on,
aimed.
everybody.
This was aimed a little. My next cruise is in December, guys. I found out Gary
Really?
was going on a cruise. Whew, sorry.
I'm sorry, but I've got too much enjoyment out of this section. I'm just going to sit here and say it
too
for the rest
funny.
of the show, just
Yeah,
so that we can up our count.
So yeah, wow. That's great. Well, we are going to post a vote in the Facebook group. And so I think Mr. Manning or the anonymous member will do that and get that posted. And we will vote if this person is a Snooty Snoot or not. So yeah, we'll post that. We'll have results next week. So we do have Jen. We have a post that was from John Hill, and I feel a little attacked. I think this is a John Hill post, and Mr. Manning actually said something in a text message that really kind of offended me. And so I think we need to go over this and maybe clear my good name.
Clear your good name. Okay.
Why? Because it's your favorite ship?
Let's just talk about it.
Well, this message.
Wait, what did they say to John Hill? Don't make me come over there and fight you. I'll fight you.
Jen got her first interrupt.
Jen,
Sorry.
I feel like
Oh,
belong
sorry.
now. So this following message absolutely did not come from Trevor. John,
How can you truly say that, Jen?
I can't. But I'm just, you know what? Let me just read it and you
Mhm.
decide. John, you are responsible for every aspect of my cruise. You are Carnival's brand ambassador, and you should be interested in knowing the experiences of cruisers, good and bad. You may not have a single care for your health. I have seen your videos and the size of your substantial stomach. My partner and I only eat white meat, grilled chicken, lots of salad with minimal dressing, oatmeal, eggs, nuts, etc. I might have one alcoholic drink on a 7-day cruise, and I almost never eat dessert, don't like ice cream, coffee, or calorie-laden soft drinks. We're not able to eat healthily on a Carnival cruise. Cruises might not be a time to lose weight, but nor are they a time to lose your health. And that's what's happening to many of us who do not want fatty foods.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be quite honest. When I said the way this started, I read the first like 3 words and was like done. And so I did not hear. I can understand why Gary felt like it was me writing this. Look, I'm not the only person in the world that dislikes ice cream. Okay, so there are other
you are a
of us.
small demographic.
Look, I'm sure this person also had a grandmother that thought her homemade ice cream recipe was amazing. She was wrong. And I'm just saying that maybe there's some childhood trauma that goes along with ice cream.
Trevor, how
Yes.
many dinners have we had together?
Oh my gosh.
3, 4.
Mhm.
Every dinner you've had chicken.
Oh, that's probably true.
And
Grilled
you
white
love the
meat
fried
only.
chicken. Well, he got the fried chicken one day, so I mean,
Oh, I did get the fried chicken one day just to prove that it was
And-
bad still.
Exactly right. And so you hate the fried. That's what I'm telling you. This person. That's all I got to say.
well, this person obviously hasn't been around the buffet or on the dream class in the whatchamacallit, the Ocean View Plaza or whatever, where there's a salad bar. They will actually make you a salad. Buffet, you got to make it yourself. Every night in the MDR, they have grilled chicken. I mean,
Yes.
that's their diet right there.
Yeah.
If they are on the Jubilee or the any of the XLs, you go to the Serenity area. They have a
Mhm.
salad section there in the Serenity area on the,
Yep.
on those XLs. And I want to say the Vista class as well. I'm not positive about that. Don't quote me. Could be fake news. But I do know that there's on a couple other ships also other than XL, they have the salad area in the Serenity area.
Yeah. I mean, so they're not looking because I mean, oatmeal's there every day. So
Get oatmeal on the C Day brunch, or you can go to the MDR because I will continue to call it the MDR. It is not,
oh yeah,
you know,
it's not a restaurant.
but you can go to the MDR on port days and still sit down and eat breakfast in there and get a healthy breakfast. It doesn't always have to be a blue iguana breakfast burrito. If you're not me, I mean, you can go somewhere else and eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're not eating healthily, it's because you're choosing to. There's lots of options on the ship.
And the ice cream, I mean, if you get the frozen yogurt, it's healthy.
Ish.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I mean, this person, honest and truthfully, we always talk about, I always bring this up because personally, I cannot, and I know Trevor, honestly, I was just joking with you about being,
Yeah. I know that.
but I do feel that 80, probably 90% of the comments or the posts that you read in these Facebook group cruises pages are just trolls out there trying to get a reply just to feed their own narcissistic self. I mean,
There's over 100,000 cruisers a week. How is John supposed to be in charge of everyone's happiness on a cruise?
It's not gonna happen.
No.
So, well, the Carnival
There is
Vista. Oh well,
I was
then
going to
never mind.
say, yeah, that was a great segue for that because I was going to say, I mean, talking about keeping people happy, Carnival's doing what they can, but it's not
Yeah.
John Heel doing it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the Carnival Vista has had its own share of issues, and John now has his own share of headaches that goes along with it. And there is a cruise. So the Carnival Vista cancels a September cruise for propulsion. Repairs. So now I will say that this has been an ongoing issue with the Carnival Vista since it came out.
The entire Vista class.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Carnival Vista particularly though with the missing ports, just different itineraries. I've been on the Vista a couple times now, and I think I've been lucky to be able to make all the ports of call that we've been on. So it's something's going on with that ship. It's very interesting, but they canceled the September 7th, 2024 cruise. It is they put out a letter to guests that booked on the cruise, basically apologizing for the inconvenience that they caused by the cancellation. They will receive a full refund for their cruise fare, shore excursions, any pre-purchase items in the front shops. So that
also
is
$200 onboard credit.
Yeah, $200 onboard credit. That's not bad. So, I mean, Carnival, I think they do well with that. But man, can you imagine? Because I mean, we're getting pretty darn close to when that cruise was supposed to happen. I would have had, my tickets booked. I would have had my plane tickets. I would have had my hotel. I would have had everything ready because I'm one of those people that I can't do anything last minute, and that is like an absolute must. And then I'd have to start canceling things. And so luckily, with a lot of airlines, you can kind of recoup but this really highlights the need for, if you're an active traveler and you're doing it often, man, you might need to look into some of those insurance plans and like a yearly one or, per trip. And so it's not always the cheapest in the world. That's why, if you're doing a few cruises a year, it might be worth looking into that yearly cost.
You don't even need it for cruises. I mean, just travel in general, airlines,
Airlines, hotel stay, your rental cars that you've pre-booked, anything that has that kind of cancellation fees and all that stuff. Yeah, no, that sucks. That's a bad deal.
So some history on the Vista. 2016 is when it went into service. Its first propulsion issue that it had was in August of 2021. So August of 2021, right after the restart, it started having propulsion issues. It's had propulsion issues every year since 2021. So for the last, you can say 4 years, 21, 22, 23, 24, it's had propulsion issues. So Carnival finally is taking it out of service for this instance. Now, when I read the headline, I thought that it actually meant that they were taking it out of service completely. I was like, whoa, that's kind of drastic. But it's just for one cruise. Hopefully they'll get it fixed. This is not the first time that they've done it.
Now,
They actually did it
supposedly,
on-
the last dry dock, they were supposed to address some of these issues.
Mhm,
And
exactly.
it feels like they didn't get there with this one. And I don't know what it is about the particular engines on this class, but man,
From what I
I'm
heard, they just stuck in when they designed it. They designed it with a propulsion system that couldn't sustain the gross tonnage
maybe
that ship is.
that's a real possibility, but
Hmm.
who knows, honestly. So hopefully they get that figured out. Hopefully it gets fixed. But man, the Vista has had so many issues.
There is
But-
some good news for Carnival, though.
Mhm.
I mean, I know the Vista and having its issues. Kendall, we've had Kendall on this show before. She
Yeah.
is the cruise director on the Carnival Jubilee. She made an announcement. John Heald made an announcement. The Jubilee is actually, what is the Jubilee doing, Tom? Tell us.
The Jubilee is not going to go on the same itinerary all the time. Now, it does have another year of this because they have 8 new itineraries starting late 2026 into 2027, but it's going to add on itineraries to Celebration Key, Half Moon Cay, and Nassau, along with the current itinerary that it does. So yeah, I mean, people, this is what people have been asking for is different itineraries on the Jubilee. 6, 7, 8 day cruises, and they're doing it, and it kind of opens up Galveston for more. Hopefully, like Southern Caribbean, the ABC Islands and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I didn't see anything that was Carnival Journeys or anything like that listed unless I missed it. But I'm
No, there's
hoping that that's going to happen because, everything that comes out of Galveston is this itinerary. I mean, it's like these are the islands that you hit coming out of Galveston. And so I don't know.
Because Celebration Key hasn't opened yet.
That's true. That's true. That is true. But I don't know. Like, I've got mixed feelings about it, but it's also I'm not like surprised or, whatever. It's just it is what it is. I mean, that's Galveston. So
I just want to say this. Jen, you go first. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump the
No, you please go.
I didn't want to jump the shark there. You go ahead. You first.
I think they sound great. I'd be happy to go. I'm always happy to go to Galveston. So, I get that if you sail out of there frequently, those itineraries are probably getting a little dusty, but that has not reached that point for me. So,
there are
I get
there
that.
are itineraries that I have not done out of Galveston, and that includes all of the private islands. I have never been to any of the private islands.
What about you, Fonz? What do you think?
So here's my thing, okay? Carnival, and they're so excited because, and I get it. Trust me. Like I talked with Kendall about this off camera, and they have done the exact same itinerary every week since the Jubilee has been put in service. The week that we were on there, they switched it. And instead of doing Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, or I'm sorry, since it was Roatan, Costa Maya, Cozumel, we did Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan. And it was like almost a relief for these people because they were doing something different. It was kind of like a Groundhog Day movie. But now, so what they technically, truthfully have done is on two of the 6 days, all they did was took out Costa Maya. So they go to Cozumel, and then you go to Roatan, and then you go back. I mean, and so the only thing that's different, truthfully, for them in this is an 8-day Bahama from Galveston that goes to Celebration Key, Half Moon Key, and Nassau. Or it goes to Nassau, Half Moon Key, Celebration Key. It's, I get it. It's something a little bit different. But in my book, it's just the same soup, just reheated.
Oh, I love that. That's really funny. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I get what you're saying, and so yeah, I wish there were more journey cruises with the Jubilee.
Yeah, I absolutely love Roatan. Roatan is right at my favorite, if not, it's at least in my top 3 ports of where I would, pick as my favorite. And so Cozumel is in my top 5. I enjoy I'm one of those weird people. I told you, Cozumel and Nassau, there's always so much to do in those 2 places because those cities are so big and there's so many different things to do outside of especially Cozumel, that it makes it fun and you can go across, catch the ferry, go over to the mainland. And, anyways, I digress. But so that's the thing for me. And so I would like to see that journey cruise come in for, I don't know that any of the XL ships do journey cruises. No, Celebration does. Never mind, because we did the ABCs on the Celebration.
Yeah, we did
it's not necessarily a journeys cruise, but it's it's out of Miami, so they're able to do ABCs. But that's almost considered a journeys cruise, just because Southern Caribbean like that isn't as prominent in the itineraries on most of those ships. So, but yeah, I truthfully, I would love to see, because Texas is there. I would like to see maybe, and I know it's a huge ass ship for the Jubilee, but maybe a partial transit Panama Canal and then come back.
Yeah.
Or all the way down to like that north edge of South America right there, where I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something a little bit different, just to give you, I mean, obviously, yes, the Galveston people, they probably, like you said, Tom, you've never been to Half Moon Key. You've never been to the private islands if you haven't sailed out of Port Canaveral in Miami or Tampa like we do so much. And so, and even Mobile goes to the Princess Key and Half Moon Key. But yeah, I can say, so I get it. It's something to be excited about. But in my opinion, there are a lot more opportunities for the Jubilee to be doing than just Cozumel, Roatan, Costa Maya, Nassau, Half Moon Key, and Celebration Key.
But what we also have to look at is the fact that there is going to be a 4th ship. Where's that ship going to go?
And it's West Coast.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be called. It's going to be called the Fiesta. It's going to be called the Fiesta.
No. There's a 4th ship coming to Galveston.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's they're. I don't know. I feel like they're printing money, so they're just doing the same itineraries, different ship, and so I don't feel like it's going to be any different. I will say that any cruise that includes like Belize, I'm down for. You have to see it to Belize it. So it's.
I want to know when they unpaired Belize with Roatan, because that used to be the thing, was go to Roatan then Belize.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just one of those that, I mean, I've been to a lot of these stops a few times now. And so in order to get something new out of these cruises, I have to go on a different ship. So I am happy they are cycling new ships in, bringing new ships in and kind of doing this and that. But you know what else is kind of crazy? What
would that be?
These people on the ships, these workers, these people that are making sure that you're having such a fun time, did you know there are people that remove their gratuities?
No.
And they do all these other kind of crazy things?
Dude.
Yeah,
it happens. That was a clean transition. Right
Was
there.
it? I kind of
Uh,
forced it, but
I got to take the glasses back off.
yeah.
People who take gratuities off of their total, right? They go down that night, the last night before, take off their
Mhm.
gratuities. I was once called a name that really hurt me and really like stuck to me. I had a person tell me one time, "You are lower than pond scum." And I'm going to tell you right now, the people who take gratuities off of their cruise and don't do any gratuities, they're lower than low of pond scum.
Look, Gary, I just want you to know right now that I don't think that you are lower than pond scum. I want you to say you're at least on the same level as pond scum. I mean, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That makes you feel any better.
All these
But-
people who say they would rather tip in person and stuff like that, there's no way that they give the the amount that they would give that's
with
prepaid.
gratuities, yeah.
Yeah.
So if it was like prepaid gratuities $300, and they're tipping each person like their room server $20, their wait staff $20 and stuff. Yeah, they're getting off cheap. It happens, but John Heald actually so he posted 2 different votes on this, and I found this kind of interesting. The first vote, he said, should we continue to allow the removal of gratuities without a fully justified reason? And it was basically like a yes or no kind of thing. And so people could check, we should continue to have the right, or I wish Carnival would not allow people to remove gratuities without a fully justified reason. And that one, the I wish Carnival would not allow people to remove gratuities, got 69% of the vote. So over half of the vote went to that. Now he did a second vote. He said, staying with the topic or the tipping topic, would you ever like us to do as we do in Australia and have the gratuities included in the cost of the cruise? And an overwhelming 87% of the vote said yes. And I know there's people out there saying, well, what? When 5 people vote, of course it's going to be 8. It was 16,931 people voted in this. So yeah, that is a overwhelming number of people that voted yes. So
I mean, it's very successful on Virgin, and I believe NCL does it too. I can't remember.
Well, and Carnival does it for Australia already.
And Princess is starting to do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Please forgive me.
Go ahead.
I quoted I looked up prices today for a 4-day cruise. It just happens to be on February 13th through the 17th out of the New Orleans on the Valor. But I looked up prices today for that cruise, and the average cost is $16 a day for gratuities. It's $46 per person on this cruise for your gratuities. I don't get how and why $16 a day is something that people want to gawk at. Now, of course, yeah, if you go at eight days, okay, now all of a sudden now you're at $92 for your cost for your gratuities, and you're right at $100, and you're talking almost $200 for 2 people. But still, there's no, if you are giving that money to your room steward, or to, if you're coming out and you're handing that much money out, then that's okay. But a lot of these people that take these gratuities off are just sitting there pocketing it. Like you said, some people might give it $20 or whatever. And so it just, I know it's a dead horse, and I keep beating it, but that is how adamant I am, and how upset I get whenever I find out that these people are, because it's like, anyway, let me just shut up. And
let me put it this way. I think that a large portion, and I'm probably giving way too much credit here. But I think a large portion of the people that are removing gratuities are genuinely surprised when they show up on their Sell and Sign account because they chose not to add them whenever they were booking their cruise. Now, you could have booked your cruise, a year and a half, 2 years in advance, and you may just forget the fact that, what I mean, and people might have tight budgets, this and that. They're like, oh crap. Like now they've added, couple $100 in gratuities on my account. Like, oh, I can't do that. That's crazy. That's insane. Why would they do that? They're nickel and diming me. And they're not, though. You should have prepaid that. And so that's why I'm overly supportive of the idea that they just include that in the price and not even make it an option. Just make that. And then a lot of people were arguing if it's included in the price, like that's not really a gratuity, because a gratuity is like I volunteered, like that was my voluntary thing that I did. Like you're making this a thing. But John Hild already said that, hey, what if we made, like, if you had a valid reason for, removing gratuities, I think they'd still make that an option. So, but I can't imagine valid reason would be, but
exactly, that's what I was going to say. Somebody play devil's advocate here and give me a valid reason, and I'm 100% for it. Go to our Facebook page, put a comment in there, tell us something that I could understand, like your room steward. I don't know what the room steward could do, but maybe your waiter dropped the plate on your lap or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
how about my room steward? Like I found him sleeping in my bed, and and I don't know. I'm just making.
And my wife was next to him, or something.
My wife was next to him.
I mean,
they look so comfy, so I left the room. So
I'm sure that there's somebody. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has had something. We have
I'm sure.
People that listen to this episode. Go to our page. Give me a reason why, because if I can maybe get a reason why, then I could be a little bit more understanding and that word that I'm compassionate for you. But
I know a lot of people get really compassionate about this, and so if you go to our SpeakPipe page and go to speakpipe.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, you can leave a voicemail and tell us what happened on your cruise, and that was a valid, good reason to remove gratuities. I believe that there's probably something that happened out there, like they left grandma out in Cozumel, and we left 15 minutes early or something. I don't know what could have happened.
I mean, if we're playing devil's advocate, I mean, there could be something like you weren't expecting come up, like you fell and you had to go to the infirmary, and that cost $200-$300 right there out of your pocket you weren't expecting. I mean, if we're playing devil's advocate on that to me is,
I don't know if that's a reason to remove gratuities, though.
Well, if you didn't have it, there's your gratuities.
Yeah, I mean, I could get that because you need the money, so now you're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
If so to speak, or
lovingly pet
the cat to feed the dog.
Whoa, I've never heard that one before.
No, you have, because he said that before on the podcast. He had said that 100% on the podcast.
I may have blocked him out.
I'm so sorry, Teresa, that I left that in.
Just sitting there like
you
didn't even know, like
100%.
I just had to throw that in there. But I do, like I said, though, I do feel, there's a minor bit of understanding in that, but also, I guess, I mean, that could possibly be a reason. I mean, but the argument to that is, if money's that tight, then should you really be going on a cruise anyways? But I do get, I do get it though, for sure.
I like how Carnival and other cruise lines are now adding the taxes and port fees into the price, so you see it right up front. I think adding the gratuities to it similarly will give you the full cost of the cruise up front, and I think that's an overall benefit to people.
That's a federal law now that they have to, all cruise lines have to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's great
California started it.
because this cruise pusher today keeps pushing cruises on me, and he sent me a bunch of like different things, and so I was like looking at them, and I always look at the price, and then I'm used to looking down at the bottom to see what the final price is. And I looked at the price, I looked at the final price. I'm like, well, something's missing because it says the same thing. I was like, oh wait,
it takes you a minute to get used to.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah. So
yeah, and my thing is, so here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it later, but I want to go in and because I've always prepaid gratuities, I believe. I don't know that we've ever not paid prepaid. But if you do not click prepaid gratuities, is there a warning that pops up and says, warning, this will be added to your bill at the end of
no,
your
there's nothing like that.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, so I can okay. So then again, if that's something that just it gets sprung on a blue card, they had no idea that they were going to have these gratuities added. I can see that too. Then
Yeah. Now, if you had like a really good travel agent, like before I was a lost lamb and I was booking on my own and I wouldn't have known, but I had I've got a really good one with Amanda Barmore with Have Luggage Will Travel, and who coincidentally is putting together Carnival Cruising Podcastaways group cruise #1 that's going to be next year on the Carnival something in Alaska. And so just talk to her. Anyways, I'll leave her information below. And so if you are interested on cruising with the Podcastaways, that is going to be a fantastic cruise. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So
yep.
Maybe not as fun as the Abraham Lincoln cruise, but
I will say that's going to be one of the most epic cruises to ever happen.
I think it will too. I'm not sure.
I got to stick it in there because how OCD I am. May 29th through June 5th, March of 2025.
I knew you would.
Carnival de Luminosa. I really can't stand you when you do that. You know that, right? I know you do it just as I can't let it go. One day I'm going to let it go. One day I'm going to let it go.
Oh, that's
no, you won't. No, you won't.
Well, I don't know if Brandon knows what he's getting himself into for Abraham Lincoln cruise, but we'll see. Everyone in our room has to wear the Lincoln hat, so just putting that out there. So I will bring said Lincoln hats to the cruise. So it's gonna be fantastic.
Oh my gosh, how epic would it be if we all got like the dead president's face mask? And like
how epic would it be to show up at formal night and wearing tails?
Yeah, there you go.
And like literally Point Break scene, like pull out a Point Break scene. Like, yes.
Oh, great.
One of the best movies of all time, I will add.
Well, anyway,
the original, not the remake.
Oh, well, there you go. Make sure you go over to our Facebook page and just search for Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. We also have a group. Join that as well. And yeah, we've got the speak pipe down below. You can leave us a voicemail. Just talk about anything you want. That is fantastic. We will play it on the show. And make sure you go over to ccp.cruisingswag.com. We will make sure that is in the description as well. And there you can see all of our podcasting merch. But yeah, just know that you are unique, you are special, and you are loved.
And remember, anything that happens on the ship stays on YouTube. Bye.
Wow. 113 days. I will be waking up on the Carnival Venezia, going to the Tomador, or however it is pronounced, Tomodora, which is a blue iguana Italian style, and getting me a breakfast burrito.
Me too.
Hey, listeners, whatever that thing Gary said to do to feed your dog, don't do that.
Shave the foosball tables. Bye-bye.
Adios.
See ya.
Bye.